Welcome back to the start of another semester of small groups. We're honored that you've decided to be a part of this group, and we hope that over the next few months you'll grow closer to God and make a few friends along the way. But before we jump into this week's teaching, I need someone from the group to go online and put your group's attendance in. And there's some leader right now rolling their eyes and probably saying either out loud or to themselves, "I'm not doing that." If you find yourself in a group with that leader doing that, pause the video right now and chastise them until they do it. Here's what you need to do. Go to www.community-christian.net/leader's last name. Now, unless your last name is leader's last name, you're going to change that part after the backslash. So if this were my group, I'd put up www.community-christian.net/Davenport. Now, it doesn't have to be the leader. Anyone in the group can do it. But you have to use your group leader's last name. Pause the video for a second if you need to. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, hopefully you've logged in your attendance. Now, if you're new to small group, let me tell you what's going to happen over the next hour or so. First, we all need a blood sample and a copy of your 2014 tax return. Okay, not really. We're simply going to get to know each other a little better and discuss what Ed talked about this past Sunday. An extremely knowledgeable, brilliant, handsome young man, that's me, will impart some wisdom on you, and when you leave, you'll be a better person than when you showed up. Okay, none of that may happen, but hopefully you'll get some tasty food somewhere along the way. But the first thing we're going to talk about most weeks is what our church calls the 5 Gs. The 5 Gs are just areas of our life that we talk about on a weekly basis. And by talking about them and growing in these 5 areas, we believe we can become more like Jesus. All of the Gs we talk about are important. And we understand that everyone in the group is someplace different when it comes to the 5 Gs. So please feel free to be honest with your answers. Nobody is perfect when it comes to the 5 Gs. I mean, if they were, we wouldn't have to talk about them every single week. Our prayer is that you'll give some serious thought to each one each time we talk about it, and let this group help you grow in each G. Now, that being said, our G for today is grace. Grace is a gift given to us by God that we don't deserve. The truth is, everyone is a sinner, and the Bible is pretty clear that because of our sin, we deserve death. God is so good and pure that He can't even be around sinners. But above all else, God is loving, and because He loves us, He provides us a way, us sinners, to be connected back to Him. And that way was through the sacrifice of His Son, Jesus. And if we choose to follow Jesus, make Him leader of our lives, and are baptized by immersion, God gives us this free gift of grace. There's absolutely nothing we can do to earn God's grace. It's a gift. The Bible says God saved you by His grace when you believed, and you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. Salvation is not a reward for good things we have done, so none of us can boast about it. So for today's group, here's what I want you to do. If you've accepted God's free gift of grace and been baptized by immersion, tell the group about that. Who influenced you along the way? What drove you to that decision? When and where were you baptized? Any of that kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to be a big, long, dramatic story. We're just trying to get to know each other a little bit. Now, maybe you're not at that stage yet. Maybe you're new to church, or it's been years since you've been in church, and the reason you stopped coming in the first place was because people like me always talked about weird stuff like dunking people in water. And we get that, and that's perfectly okay if that's you. Just know that you're in the right place. We want to help you understand God's grace and decide for yourself if it's something you want. So take a few minutes and talk about where you are with the Grace G. Some questions are going to come up on the screen. When they do, pause the video. And when you're done, resume the video and we'll finish our discussion. I have a friend who's just a lot of fun to be around. I honestly haven't met anyone who doesn't like the guy. He's easygoing, he's funny, he's always got something to say or talk about. He's just a good guy, and when he's around, it's hard not to have a good time. I mean, when he walks into a room, you know he's going to be fun or say something crazy or just bring a vibe to the room that wasn't there before. And do you know somebody like that? Someone whose mere presence can change the mood of the room? I also know a guy that has the opposite effect. When he walks in the room, everyone's like, oh man, it's about to hit the fan. You might even work with, or better yet, live with someone like that. Well, the truth is, if you're a follower of Christ, we're supposed to be that kind of person. No, not talking about the type of person everyone hates when they walk in the room, but we are called to bring change. As we talked about on Sunday, we're called to be salt. Salt brings about change. It changes the flavor of food. It changes ice to water. When you add salt to something, you know it's going to change it in some way. Now, what about you? How does how you live or what you say change those around you? Because whether you think it or not, you are making a difference. Your actions and your words can change the mood of a room, an office, a grocery store, a high school. You are the salt of the earth. Now, with that in mind, take a few minutes and discuss the following questions. Thanks for being here this week, and we'll see you next time.